What's going on, 49er Faithful, 49er Fam, 49er Gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building. I know, man, back for another video. I had to give y'all a video on the linebackers, and I have a lot of time today. So I've been just working and grinding out shows and thinking about different things that I could do to be able to continue to bring you guys more content and consistent content during this off season that we're going to have. So the offensive side of this stuff is coming through. We already talked about a few people as far as the wide receivers and the offensive linemen. But yeah, man, back again. And I'm going on with my boys later on tonight, man. So today is going to be filled with shows. I don't know. I'm feeling good today. I really do. I feel good every day. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to this content creating, man, sometimes I get that itch and I just have to go ahead and do it. So we're going to go in and go with the safeties, man. That's what I'm talking about. So here's the thing. We got 5 safeties on our squad right now. Probably due to only keep about 4. And it's going to be hard for some people to make this team, and they've got to make the proper impressions to be able to make sure that they actually are able to get on the field and or just get on the team. We got one coming back from injury, but the other guys are all here to, and they're new and they're making a name for themselves. So let's get right on into it, man. So we're going to talk about the first guy on the list. We all know who we talking about, man. We talking about Dub, a.k.a. Jimmy Ward. We all know who Ward is, along with Tart, for several years, who is now in Philly. Glad he got signed. We appreciate you for all you've done, Tart. They had played together for years on many levels, and now that Tart is gone, he's got a new running mate in Huck, a.k.a. Hufanga, who has built a special bond along with him already. Hey, man, I like that, J.R. Meadows. I like that. It's 15-2, baby. Let's hope so. I want 15-2. So, Ward heaped praise on the young man, along with D'Amico Ryans, our defensive coordinator, saying that the game has slowed down for him tremendously, and that, and it looks like he's set to be the starter opposite Ward. Jimmy finished last season with 77 tackles, 1 TFL, 6 passes defense, 2 interceptions, and 1 defensive TD. We all know Ward isn't a ball hawk and doesn't get many INTs, if any. What we do know is he's a sure tackler, a hard hitter, and a field general. I think this year will be another year for him to go hard and prove why he got his new contract. Love him. Nothing bad to say about him. Jimmy Ward is the man. He's definitely going to bring it on the field. He brings it off the field. He is very vocal in his interviews. I love the way he talks and how he speaks and how he carries himself. And he is not afraid or ashamed to talk to anyone and make sure that he answers questions directly. Some players dance around things. Jimmy Ward is a straight shooter. He gives it to you straight, no chaser, and I love every second of it. I like his play on the field. I'm glad he got his contract, and I hope he just continues to keep building and growing. Next guy up on the list, Talanoa Hufanga, our second-year safety. I love this kid when we drafted him. The only thing I didn't like is the fact that he went to USC. I'm sorry, I almost threw up in my mouth every time I have to mention that school. Just, I don't like it. His instinct and skills on the field show up early. He has some growing to do and seems to already have done so already. With all the praise he's getting, I pencil him in next to Ward as our other starting safety. He has great instincts and is being mentored by one of the greatest safeties ever in Troy Polamalu, who also went to USC. Both are of Polynesian descent, so that connection there is a thing of beauty, and I want to talk about that really quick before I go on and the other comments that I had about him. The beauty of Talanoa Hufanga and Troy Polamalu, Talanoa Hufanga represents the Tongan people, and then you have a lot of Polynesian descent coming from different places, whether it be Samoa or Hawaii or the Tongan people. I appreciate them because they show a camaraderie and a sense of love and appreciation for each other and a sense of unity inside their community that is just second to none, man. And it's great that he winds up in a situation where he's getting mentored by a guy like that. Now, shout out to Melissa, my sister from another mister. She hates anybody calling him Baby Polamalu. And it's crazy because what does Talanoa Hufanga have? He has a look and he has the hair. Although Troy Polamalu's still going strong, man. Ain't no receding hairline. That hair still flowing effortlessly. If you don't believe me, check out the commercials with him and Patrick Mahomes for Head and Shoulders. It's crazy. So, I love the camaraderie that they have within that community. Shout out to the Tongan people. Shout out to the Samoan people. Shout out to the Polynesian culture in general. You guys continue to stay blessed. Keep doing what you're doing. Continue with that unity in the community. And I love every second of it. I grew up with them. As I told you guys before, I went to high school with a bunch of cats, that were Samoan. So I love that community. They embraced me and I embraced them back, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful community. And they have some of the greatest food and some of the greatest cultural things that you'll ever see, man. Cook and Smoke Sports says, "What up, Dion? Even though you didn't like Kobe, we still cool." Look, man, my pops is a diehard Laker fan, and I'm a diehard Bulls fan. But the thing is, for me, I've always, when I grow up, even though there are players that I don't like, I didn't like Shannon Sharp on the field. I hated him on the field. I don't know why. I just didn't like him. But I can't deny he was a great tight end, And Kobe, top five, yes, I can give you that. I could roll with that. Kobe is definitely top five. But like I said before, Kobe's the closest thing we ever would have had to Jordan. And God rest his soul, that man was a killer on the court. He wanted to take your soul. I don't care what nobody says. The hardest thing I've ever seen that I know of that Kobe Bryant did was one, run up on Shaq, and two, literally on the court, looking Dwight Howard and tell him, "You soft. You soft." Hey, I'm telling you, man, he was a killer, and I loved every second of it, man. So yeah, okay, here we go. Congrats to Fred Warner and his new wife. Congrats to him for getting married. It's a beautiful thing, man. When you take that step and commit yourself to one person for the rest of your life, it's always good to grow and continue to be that person. But back to Talanoa. I expect him to have a breakout year and blossom into a star as a safety. He finished last year with 32 tackles, 1 TFL, and 2 passes defense. He also had a few missed assignments here and there while filling in for Tart, but it's all a part of the growth process. I see nothing but big things for this kid, and I expect him to blow things out of the box, period. Boosie voice. Tarvarius Moore, coming off an Achilles tear, which is a hard injury to return from. We hope he's ready to go by training camp. We do know how the Achilles tear works. Looks like it takes you almost 2 years to kind of get back from it, i.e. Richard Sherman. He had a pretty good first year when he returned from it. His second year was even better. After we wound up signing him in free agency while we did have him. We also believed if healthy, Moore would possibly be Tart's successor instead of Hufanga. Unfortunately, due to injury, it didn't work out that way. Nonetheless, we hope he's ready to go and fight for a spot on the team. He has knowledge of the system and how it works. But when last seen, that was with Robert Saleh. D'Amico Ryans has put his own stamp on the defense now, so there could be some new changes for him to make adjustments to. We love the speed and ability to keep up with the faster receivers. So let's keep an open mind and see if he's fully healthy and ready to go this season. I'm rooting for Tarvarius Moore. I hope he comes back. He's ready to go. He's healthy. And, that speed did not, wind up dwindling down. I understand when you get on the field, it's a different thing. But hopefully he's ready to go and get in football shape, and we can see if he can actually go in training camp. He's had more than enough time off. He tore his Achilles last year in training camp. So we definitely have given him more than enough time to recover. He should be a full go. He should be ready to get on that field in training camp and preseason and show that he's healthy and able to make this squad. So the next guy that we got is Leon O'Neal Jr., a UDFA out of Texas A&M. Played 12 games for them last year. He had 2 INTs and has had at least one in every year of college, 38 tackles, and 1 sack. The reason that I point out that he had one in at least every year of college is because most of the defensive backs that come out of college typically only have maybe 2 to 4 in their whole college career, and they definitely don't have one every single season. And sometimes when you see those DBs that come out that have had like 9 or 10 or something to that effect, it's been like one season, and then the other seasons they've either had 1 or none. So it's the consistency is a good thing. Though it's a small number of just one, at least he had it versus a lot of guys that you see coming out that didn't have that, didn't have those numbers every year, year in, year out. Taking a look at the college tape, a short tackler and a hard hitter, he has an eye for the ball, whether he's breaking up a pass or forcing a drop with his hard-hitting style. What I love from the film is he gets to the ball carrier and doesn't wait for contact. He has a chance to make the team as a special teamer and backup safety, takes great angles, and is a very humble individual. If you don't believe me, look at Leon O'Neal Jr.'s film. This kid was out there trying to rock your world. Now, of course, everybody has to remember in the NFL, some of the hits you make in college, you can't make in the NFL, and we all see that on tape. But that's coachable and that's teachable, and they'll see that stuff when they get to the next level. And I know and understand that football is a physical sport, it's a gladiator sport, so it's not for the faint of heart. But they have softened up on a lot of things when it comes down to it, as far as how you can tackle, where you can hit, and what you can do and what you get away with. Kels Chronicles, yee! What's happening with you, man? Um, let's see. J.R. Meadows says I believe he's talking about Talanoa Funga. His awareness is great. I liked him at USC, glad he's a Niner, and he scored. Yes, that's true. I completely agree with that. So the next guy up on the list is going to be George Odom, brought in mainly as a special teams ace. Some believe he can rival Hufanga for a starting safety spot opposite Jimmy Ward. And this has been the talk amongst 49ers content creators and some of the people who write about, the 49ers in general when it comes down to it. So we may or may not see a little bit of a battle. It all depends on who gets the reps and what they do and what they show. I know that Talanoa Hufanga did show us a lot last year, and everyone has said that the game has slowed down for him, which means a lot because 9 times out of 10, when you get into the NFL, what does everybody say? What surprised you about the NFL? The speed of the game, because everything moves at a super rapid pace and it moves way, way faster than it ever does in college. So we'll see what happens. He spent his whole career with Indy last year. He played 7 games, had 1 INT, 2 passes defense, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and 55 tackles, which isn't bad. He doesn't have a ton of NFL experience, but if he contributes on special teams and can also push for the starting position, we may have a diamond in the rough on our hands. Look for Odom to go hard in training camp and preseason and show why he should start and not Hufanga. I don't expect George Odom to take things laying down. I expect him to definitely give it a shot where he's going to force himself and push, the defensive coordinator, D'Amico Ryans, and those guys out there that are coaching the safeties to make a hard decision like, hey, man, I'm here. I play. I'm well worth every penny, and I can show you I can be a starter in this league. Some people just don't get the opportunity, so when you look at the numbers, it doesn't tell a true story. So let's hope and pray that, George Odom possibly could be a diamond in the rough. I'm okay with that. I have no issues. You definitely want people to go out there and fight hard and push to be able to try to be starters on the squad. Speed kills. I still run 4.3 at 42. Hey, JR, I commend you, brother. I'm 41, man, and, I got to get out there and get my body right before I go run another 40. I think last time I checked, I was still in the 5 flat. You know what I'm saying? I was still all right. So hopefully I get out there and get my body right again. And once I get that hydration proper, bro, I'm going to go out there and test myself up against the numbers. I probably should be able to at least hit the 5. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I appreciate that, Tommy. Hey, let me tell y'all something real quick, homie. Tommy slipping in here. Bro, if y'all don't follow Tommy on Instagram, y'all need to. He killed the fuck out of that guitar solo. He murdered that shit. Tommy, hey, look, you see his picture? Tommy ain't playing on that goddamn guitar now. He was fucking it up. I was listening like, oh, shit. Get down, Tommy. Get down, baby. Hey, man, shout out to you, Tommy, man. Hats off. You play a mean guitar, brother. Mean guitar. Y'all don't follow him, man. Y'all need to take a look at it, bro. I appreciate the compliment, brother. I am definitely for all of 41, and I feel it. But last guy we have, and I didn't know about this kid until I literally did a deep dive on our safety position, man. Oh yeah, definitely true. Taylor Hawkins. So another SDSU product. We got a couple of guys from San Diego State University here. Both of them were UDFAs, by the way. Another SDSU product comes in as a UDFA. He can play DB and safety when looking at his film. So this dude basically is crazy. Oh, don't worry, Tommy. We're going to get them subs up, bro. I've been doing content creating for a cool minute, man. And I can't barely even crack the 400 mark. And the craziest shit is I have almost 1,000 followers on almost a nice amount of followers on Twitter, bro. Like I'm deep on Twitter, but it's hard for me to get these cats on the YouTube channel. So anybody that you see watching this on Twitter, please, there's a link in the bio. Hit that link, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man. I'm trying to put it up there. I got 727 followers on Twitter, man, and I barely have 400 on YouTube. So I keep grinding, I keep going because I know at some point those numbers will explode. But hey, there's 727 people on Twitter that follow your boy. I need all of y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the post notification. And I guarantee you, I will keep churning out more and more content. But back to Taylor Hawkins. Taylor Hawkins, I love his eye for the ball, always looking to make a play. He's a good tackler, but in the NFL will become a great tackler. Some of the hits he made in college would be penalties in the NFL. But once again, that's coachable and easy to teach. That goes back to the point I was making earlier. These guys can rock your world. Him, Leon O'Neal Jr., but they just have to be able to make sure that they don't do these things in the NFL because there's a few things that I saw in their highlight reels that will definitely you'll get flagged for stuff like that. Just because the NFL is a little softer, and they do want to make sure it's a safer game for them. So I love his attitude on the field, and if he gets the opportunity, he can make this team as a special teams guy and/or practice squad at a minimum. We all know I love a ball hawk, and this guy is definitely it. 6'1", 205. This guy is a prototypical size to play DB or safety because of his skills. I think he would be a monster at safety. Finished as a fifth-year senior, playing 13 games with 62 tackles, 1 TFL, 2 interceptions, and 10 passes defense. He could be a guy to make some noise in training camp, given the fact he makes it past the cuts. Look for this kid to shine when given the opportunity. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I looked at his tape, and then I went ahead and looked at it a little bit more. Taylor Hawkins is possibly another diamond in the rough, same said for George Odom. The reason being is because Taylor Hawkins literally would be a killer at safety because of his range. He has the eyes and the nose for the ball like I haven't seen in a very, very long time. And he's running the routes for the receivers. And what happens is, I guess SDSU had a fairly nice pass rush because they made the quarterback make bad decisions, and Hawkins was able to knock a lot of balls down. So if you've got 10 passes defense in 1 year and you only play 13 games, I'll take that any day of the year. I'd love for that to happen. But then at the same time, he can intercept the ball. So I think that if this kid gets the opportunity, if he can show out in preseason and he can show up in training camp, then we should be all right. We've got a total of just 5 safeties. We only usually keep 4. But if we keep 4 on the active roster, that means we can still stash this dude on the practice squad. And depending on what he does in training camp and preseason, he may or may not stay there. He may not clear waivers, just depending on what we see from him. But I think as far as what I saw and what I reviewed, I like this kid. I like Taylor Hawkins. And I hope that he is able to make this squad in some way, shape, or form, and hope that we are able to keep him because unfortunately, injuries happen throughout the year. We all know they happen to us, so we don't want to wind up on the short end of the stick not having enough backups and people that are going to be able to come in and play if needed. We don't want the injuries. We pray to God they stay away, fingers crossed again, but they do happen. So those are our safeties currently right now, man. We got Jimmy Ward, Talanoa Hufanga, Tarvarius Moore, Leon O'Neal Jr., George Odom, and Taylor Hawkins. So I think, that was 6. Jimmy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. I'm sorry. Ooh, yeah, I need to stop saying that in a row. God bless me, please. Amen to that. Love the Lord. But yes, there are 6 safeties, and all of those guys have a good shot at making this list, making this roster. But I'll say the top 2 safeties. I'm going to call my starters as Hufanga and Jimmy Ward. So if you guys think different, let me know in the comments. I would definitely love to look back and see what people think. That is it for me. No more videos for me today. I will be jumping on with my boys at the Forever Faithful podcast, and we'll go ahead and drop in today. But it looks like we've covered everybody on the defense. So we covered the D-line, the linebackers, the DBs, and the safeties. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here. That's my dog, Brandon, Forever Faithful Podcast. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button for them as well. Hive gang out here. So I say the starters on our defense. I'm going to give y'all the full starter since I've covered everyone, all of the position groups. This is how I see our defense shaking out. And this is just tell me if I'm wrong. I'm going to give a 1A and 1B to this position because we have to see what happens in training camp and preseason with this kid. I don't know if he's going to be able to make a splash or not, and that is Drake Jackson. So I'm going to say 1A is Samson Ebukam and 1B is going to be Drake Jackson. We'll see which one of those dudes is going to take the hierarchy. Sleeper guy, Kerry Hyder. He's back with us. We all know he had 8.5 sacks when he was last with Chris Cassera, and that was in that COVID-stricken year. He was one of the very few players who could stay healthy, but look for him to possibly be a sleeper and maybe try to sneak into a starting role. You never know. But I'm going to stick with those two guys, 1A and 1B for right now, Samson Ebukam and Drake Jackson, because we did draft Jackson, and a lot of people have given him a D4 comp. Let's just pray to God he doesn't have the injury history. Fingers crossed. So the other thing that the next guy is going to be Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, and Nick Bosa. That's our starting front four. Our linebackers, obviously, Azeez, Dre, Fred. Our DBs, if healthy, I got to give a 1A and 1B again. So starter, Charvarius Ward, automatic. 1A and 1B is going to go Emmanuel Mosley and Jason Verrett. The reason I'm going to put Verrett behind it because he's coming off an ACL tear. I don't know if they're going to have him ready to go for training camp and or allow him to be ready for week 1. If Verrett is healthy, it's going to be Charvarius Ward and Jason Verrett. Nickel is a full-on question mark. I don't fucking know. I can't tell you that day. Yes, Tommy, that's where I'm headed. I don't know. From all accounts, what I hear is Darquez Denard is the slot guy. But we still have Avery Thomas. We still have Diamador Lenore. We still have Quantrez Knight. We still have Sam Womack. We have a lot of DBs on the squad. So I honestly don't know. From what I've heard so far, Darquez Denard possibly could be our starting slot defensive back. We'll see. Our nickel guy. We'll see what happens. So that's the only one I don't have an answer for. I do not know. I really don't. And it's because the Shark was the guy for all those years, and now he's gone. He's over there with Saleh in New York. So our safeties, as I told you, Huff and Ward, simple enough. So the only two spots that we have is left defensive end, I believe, left defensive end is toss up between Ebukam and Drake Jackson. And then the slot, the nickel DB, we don't know who it is. We'll have to see how it plays out in training camp. We're going to have to watch very, very closely on the reports that come out from the beat writers to see what goes on. Though, we may not care for certain things that people say as far as some of the beat writers and the people that are there or some of the questions that they ask, we still got to pay attention to them because they're the ones in the building. They're the ones giving us the info, and that's usually what we go off of. But for now, that's it. I'm done. I will be on later with my dogs from the Forever Faithful Podcast. Please tune in. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications. If you know anybody that loves 49ers, you tell a friend, tell another friend. Send them my way, man. Niner Game Podcast. Definitely let them know about the channel. Let them know I drop content and let them know it's going to be consistent. They can go back and look at any and all of the videos. I continue to have guests on. And believe me, when the season starts, I'm bringing people in. I'm starting to bring more guests in because this is more so a simple thing when it comes down to some of the position groups. I don't have a lot of guests, but I did bring the big homie Mose in. Shout out Mose Knows. If you ain't hit the like button and subscribe button for him, you're missing out on fantastic content. Mose is so knowledgeable about the whole NFL. And this dude knows the draft. He understands college football. He's well beyond my knowledge when it comes to the college football. But at the same time, Mose is awesome. I love bringing him in to talk to defensive line because it's really great to bounce your ideas off of another person. But I got to bring in 49ers media. I got to bring in First Takes. I'm definitely going to go ahead and bring in Jay in the Bay, and definitely going to bring on Bashar. I'm definitely bringing a lot of people on. We're going to bring the Forever Faithful Podcast on, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am working. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna get the whole Real Talk Niner Talk crew in here. Outside of Will right now, Will is taking a step away from Real Talk Niner Talk. I know y'all may have seen that, but Will is on a mission. Will is doing what a man does, and I'm not gonna get into his business because that's that man's business. But let me tell you right now, Will is on his grown man shit. What he told me he was doing, and the reason he stepped away is exactly why you step away, because you sacrifice certain things to make sure that everybody makes it. And that's what Will is doing. So shout out to you, Will. Continue to be as great as you are. You can catch Will online and on Twitter in the spaces every now and then. He always has great things to say, good content. Shout out to the Real Talk Niner Talk crew. But I'm trying to get all of them cats on, man. I'm trying to get on Super Dave. I need to get Judah Great on here. I've had Silverado Kev on different times. I've even had Super Dave, but I want the whole crew on here. We can get them on and make sure that they that they come on and we have a fantastic show. I love what they do over there. Their content has exploded. Their numbers have skyrocketed, and I need to skyrocket mine. So if I bounce a couple of people in and out of here, man, it's just going to be a great thing. Thank y'all for tuning in. Continue to have a blessed day. Have a blessed weekend. And I'm out this joint. Peace.